Hello and welcome to Core Finance, where we're joined by Ryan Littlestone, who is a trader and analyst at ForexFlow.live. How are you today, Ryan?
I'm very good, Zach. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. It's been a long time and everything. I hope your forex has been flowing in the meantime.
Yeah, probably got less hair since last we met, but such is life.
We're both in the same camp there. Right, you've got euro dollar here. What is the chart telling you?
Well, I'm looking for a setup to sell euro dollar here, or at better levels, for the run up into the ECB and the FOMC meetings that we got coming up in December. The market's sort of taking starting to take a dim view of the Fed and how far they're going to carry on hiking, and that's playing into some dollar weakness. Hence why one of the reasons why euro dollar is up this high. The Fed aren't going to change in an instant. Even if we get a run of mildly bad data, the US is still the best of a bad bunch. The Fed isn't going to stray from the hike path too far. So I think the market's getting a little ahead of itself over how far the Fed can cut, how far the Fed will cut back on hikes. And on the flip side, we've got the ECB, which is facing some real data issues. The economy we've seen today, the PMIs in manufacturing, well down in Germany, well down across the board in services too. And the market's looking for the end of QE, and it's starting to price in next year's potential hikes. But we're getting more and more bearish data, so there's an opportunity to fade these lowering expectations in the Fed. Hence, we see the dollar rise, and counter that with obviously falling expectations for the ECB, which is sees the euro fall. So it's a double whammy for euro dollar really.
I mean, isn't the point here though probably one's trying to work out what, if anything, would be a driver for the euro getting stronger? I mean, a resolution in Italy or something like that?
Yeah, but I think a lot's being made of this budget stuff. When haven't we had problems with budgets in the Eurozone? Italy, France and whoever else have just come off a couple of years ago, getting letters of warning because they were above target and, they had 3 years or 2 years to sort it out. What's shaking Italy or the market over Italy is the political instability. Now we've got this flaky coalition going on. And if that blows up, the budget's going to be insignificant to that, and that's what the market's playing on. Whether it's 2.4% deficit, 2.5, whatever, right. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But I'm looking at I've been looking at an eager seller up towards 115 in euro dollar, and that's the sort of area I'm looking to get short in at. And
in terms of the downside, what's the best? Well, the best for the bears on that.
Well, there's a lot of eyes on a big fib level, the 61.8 of the 2017 move up. That's down at 1185, and that's getting a lot of attention in the market's eyes, and that's a potential target. We've seen the 112 area holding good resistance in the lows there. As a trader, I don't pick targets because anything can happen, but that's where I'll be looking for a move to go down towards.
And this overall, the pattern here on this chart for the last couple of years is what, a head and shoulders? Is that what you're looking at?
I don't personally look at head and shoulders. Many do. You could probably draw one in there.
Well, they don't tend to work, obviously, but yeah. That's the other factor.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at charts, whatever works for the individual trader. If people want to trade the head and shoulders, then they know the levels. For me, we had the big run up 2017. Now we've seen it down and lower, mainly on the US side of the trade. But the expectation of the ECB hiking, is still pretty low, and that's keeping the euro offered. And then, next year could be the year where it all changes and the Fed goes into a more neutral stance and they scale back on hikes and the ECB looks to hike, and then we're talking a different game altogether.
And is this the better market to look at versus, I mean, obviously cable has its own issues which can change every 5 minutes. Yeah. Are you picking out euro dollar because cable is such a binary situation? Yeah,
at the moment, anything in the pound is just madness at the moment. As we saw yesterday with Brexit headlines, you can sit there watching a 20 pip market for hours and then one headline and you're 120 pips, 150 pips higher. There's a reason I've traded it very rarely over the last couple of years just because it's of the headline lottery. But in case of the euro dollar, it's been fairly quiet really in the grand scheme of things. It's been following the risk trades and everything else. But the reason I'm looking at it now is because we've got a big December for central banks, and that can bring us some good opportunities if there's a strategy you can look towards.
Ryan Littlestone, trader and analyst at ForexFlow.live. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.